Hello everyone, Link here, back with another Company of Heroes 2 replay. This one on Crossroads Winter, which previously I had a bit of a glitch on this area here, in between this tractor and bench. And I don't actually think that replay actually uploaded. I'm not certain if it did or not. But basically what happened was I got glitched, one of my units got glitched into this spot, similar to that tower glitch, and they just died for nothing, which caused me to lose the game, which was real annoying. So this game just immediately goes for this and basically just starts spamming machine gun for the most part. This guy was kind of like your traditional machine gun spammer, just take defensive positions, never leave them. So once you just take all the territory, and then you can just never lose a territory again. That's sort of the premise of it. And that's why I like playing on maps that don't have many buildings. You have two in the front here for this victory point, but one for each side, very well mirrored. You have one way back here that's actually destroyed. One along this main road. Oh, it's even this. I didn't even notice this one, honestly. Not sure if that's on the actual Crossroads map or not. And I think there might be one more somewhere. This isn't actually a building you can hide in, even though it looks kind of like a building. It's actually technically a building, but it's not a building you can go into. So now he's got a machine gun. He's only capping with two guys. He actually built the machine gun kind of late. So I've got Storm Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers going after a conscript. And I've got twice the amount of territory. I've got pretty much the entire bottom side at this point. He's got half of his side. And yep, now he's going for another machine gun. He's moving these guys into a defensive position. I'm starting to cap the left side, which he hasn't capped whatsoever. Decided to get 2-2-1 basically as quickly as possible this game to deal with the machine guns. So I retreated one guy quickly there. Volksgrenadiers also managed to get away. Quick reaction. I didn't realize until recently just how weak the 2-2-1 was compared to the 2-2-2. Yeah, second I got Sporkari, I ended up going for the 2-2-2. Because I knew he was going to go heavy on the machine guns. I've seen one machine gun already. And I knew he was going to go heavy on machine guns because of these over here. Reload a lot faster and increase rate of fire. The thing is, with machine gun in the center, which I see, and his last machine gun over here, I don't need to push in here when you've only got this chunk. If you're going to leave the entire left side open, then I can just take the entire left side. There's nothing you can do about it. Especially because the machine gun actually doesn't cover this too well. So, and if you get this point, you actually can cut off the opponent. I also had two VPs and he didn't even take this VP with machine gun. Which is one of the things that, and again, is common with machine gun players, that they don't set up in the victory point, they'll set up in the most defensive position. And that's all they'll care about. This guy was good with swapping. A little bit late on the reaction with the infantry, so the machine gun was able to get a lot of damage on this. It also seems like it takes a lot more damage than the 2-2-2 from just regular rifle fire. So I was able to throw a molly in. And this part really annoyed me because he's burning up. That guy's standing in fire. This guy's also standing in fire, but for whatever reason, he doesn't get burned up. was able to get out of there with the 222 or 221. And yeah, look at this machine gun here. He sees no one over here, but doesn't try to take either of the points, and that was a big misplay. And conscript's very low, was able to take this and cut this point off. So he's got very little resources. He's got the area he took initially, which I haven't had to push into, and that's it. He's only got one conscript left, which is already almost dead. Conscript and engineer, and then double machine gun. And with triple Volksgrenadier and Storm Pioneer and a machine gun of my own, it really just doesn't have much. You basically should never be able to cap a point this deep in enemy territory, this early in the game. Which is really emphasizes, like, machine gun here, not even capturing anything, and I can just easily take this. So even if he has this area going uncontested, you know, I've just got so many more resources than him. I mean, even this resource point he has, he's being cut off from. He's got a gas and 2 points, where I have double ammunition, a gas, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got so much more resources than him. Because keep in mind, OKW requires gas to be able to even build the next structure. Can't even see it from here for some reason, which is odd. Huh. Never noticed that before. Yep. Now he's finally actually moving engineers in with the machine gun in the defensive position. And now I see that, I just move in with my 221. Was able to push back here, and now we've got sort of the traditional machine gun versus machine gun fight. Now in the winter version, there's a destroyed tank in the center, which blocks a lot of shots from both sides. Which basically means that this was decided because his was already very low to begin with. So he's taking these 2 points, sure, but I still have way more points than him. And even if, you know, this point's cut off, at least he doesn't have it. Like, that's kind of just a bonus point, really. And this guy retreated, which means I was able to not only take this VP, but I was able to move my guy in there. And you'll see here, the second that he sees the 221 go after his machine gun from an angle, he immediately retreats it. Kind of further emphasizing my point of, like, well, actually he doesn't, he kind of just maneuvers it there, but then I've moved in with a bunch of guys, and then molly it. And then I've got a machine gun here pinning down this machine gun. So he wants to get in this building, but I've already taken it. So I've got way more guys than him. Now, he was able to get engine damage, and this was a mistake on my part. I was trying to repair while it was moving backwards, which you can't actually do in this game. What I should have done was just move it backwards continuously, and then just aim these Storm Pioneers at the conscripts. But it was still alright, because even though I lost it, I got a trade on the conscript. And what I didn't actually realize was how ahead I was infantry-wise. He had one machine gun left, a mortar that he just made that was in the open, and then an engineer. So he immediately started making 2 conscripts, but even then that's vastly outnumbered to me. And because of how ahead I was resources-wise, I just completely skipped this one. I just went to max tier immediately. If you're this high ahead on resources, you just try to get the Panzer out, you know, as quickly as possible. Especially when you're versus machine guns. Machine guns and mortar, you want to have, you know, the most tankiest tank possible. This game I was so ahead I could have even waited for a Panther if I wanted to. He's pinned down this guy, but then I molly him. So he moves forward rather than retreating, and I was like, okay, then I'll just move in. Now, surprisingly, that was in range, so I get behind cover here. I still have this machine gun here that barely was able, I don't know how he was able to suppress this guy. But I've basically cut off the right side exit completely, given how much more infantry I have. And I have a second machine gun. Although, I'm pretty sure I just retreated this guy and just replaced it because of how low this guy was. Especially with the mortar. Without the mortar, maybe I would have let it stay, but I'm so ahead, there's no reason to give him an opportunity for a squad wipe. So with how ahead I am this game, I've been able to build 2 positions. He's a little bit away from a T-70, but he's able to get a T-70 around the same time I'm able to get a Panzer IV, which really emphasized my point of like just skip the light tank, skip the Panzer II, skip the Puma, just go right for the Panzer IV. Because if you got Panzer IV and they've got T-70, it doesn't matter, you know, if they've got like they've got to have like double AT or double anti-tank weapons in order to deal with that. And he keeps cutting off this by taking this, but again, it doesn't bug me because I don't care about the resources from this. I just care about denying him those resources. Because I've got the entire map here. Now, he actually has enough gas to get a T-70 out, but he's not going for it. Adjust my angle. Pin both these guys down. I knew because of the mortars, my machine guns were going to die eventually. So I wanted to just flank behind. And I wanted to kill this machine gun and basically get a trade. So once these guys got behind, I retreated my machine gun. So he's forced to retreat, and I'm retreating as well. I'm honestly really lucky that guy lived. Got another machine gun over here. I put him very far back because I didn't know quite where my enemy was, and I didn't have any infantry initially. That machine gun got very low. Didn't quite die. But you'll see that my Panzer IV is about to finish, and that's when he decides to get a T-70 out. And he actually has enough gas for the assault gun, the Su-76, which, given what happened, it really would have been better for him to do that. Overextended here. I think what ended up happening is that if you just click attack this unit, it will always like follow that unit until it's dead. So here he got an anti-tank gun, and he also managed to get a T-70 out. Building some cover here. He also had quite a few ammunitions this game and didn't use them at all. Like he could have used this, for example. Especially when he was like healing at base. Now this, to be fair, was mostly just lucky. So he's got 2 conscripts. Wasn't fully lucky, but like, you'll notice here he's got guys clumped up. One shot killed all those guys. Even though they were very clumped up, I'm surprised that I killed that squad in 1 hit and dealt 0 damage to this. Usually you would think it would be like half and half. Yeah, really clumped up, and the Panzer just obliterated it. He's got an anti-tank gun, and this is again the part that kind of mind boggles me, is that he also went for the T-70 wicked late. Like, he could have gotten the T-70 out like 3 minutes earlier. Killed the conscript there. And with the machine gun here, I've just completely boxed him in on this side. He can only attack from the left. I was just staying here just to try to take the territory and then retreat, which I did quite a few times this game. Panzer was semi-damaged, not that badly damaged, but I wanted to repair it in either way. So I built but I had this guy and I kind of wanted to keep him over here, so I built another Storm Pioneer. Wasn't actually looking at this guy. If I was, I could have easily mollied this MG, but I didn't. I was actually thinking of getting in this house, but it was so damaged that like 1 or 2 mortar shots would have killed it. But you can see here, I've got Panzer IV in like 4 minutes after the Panzer IV and like 6 minutes after he could have actually gotten the T-70. He goes for the T-70. Like, at this point, you should either be teching up or going for the Su-76, because that's a lot better, especially with the anti-tank gun. Because T-70 in general is like better in every way compared to this, except in raw power. Like, this has a turret that you can move, and it's more maneuverable. But this is just much better overall for anti-tank. Like, there's no way a T-70 is going to be able to beat a Panzer IV. But this at least might be able to stand a chance against it. And honestly, given how much gas he had, he probably could have even built the next tier. But it still would have been too late with 75 points. So now that I've taken the entire right side, he's slowly but surely starting to take the left side. Because I don't have my Panzer over. But again, he's got machine guns, double machine gun, mortar, and an anti-tank gun. The only maneuverable units he has is one conscript, one engineer, both with 0 veterancy, and then a T-70. Which got hit with a bazooka, a Panzerfaust, and now I've got a Panzer coming in. Which really didn't need much to kill that at all. I did it a little bit too close here, but that's still fine by me. So I had to back up here in case the anti-tank gun was going to come after me. Machine gun moved a little bit. Retreat him away. Just doing some healing up in my base. But again, with this machine gun here, he's nowhere close to this VP. I mean, if he can't even take this area, how is he supposed to take this VP? And VP is just slowly but surely trickling down for him. But with all, like, defensive units, he can't push out and take any territory. That's the whole point of these defensive units, is you take a bunch of territory, then you just hold that territory and you can never take it back. But if you never took any territory to begin with, how is that going to happen? So I've got pretty much all my guys in his base, which is the reason that he's able to take the left side here. But now that I see that he's just using it against my machine gun here, I decided to move in with my Volksgrenadiers. And doesn't actually have a machine gun there. Went back and healed it, looks like. I was able to pin my guys down, but not before this was lost. Lucky hit there with the mortar. Did build another anti-tank gun. I pushed back this machine gun. It was a little late on the infantry coming over to cap these points, but eventually was able to. This guy's pinned, but he's in a little bit of cover. And I've got a tank coming in. And he didn't recrew it. He did get another one, which got a bit of a lucky shot there. Also got 2 infantry going up against this mortar. And they're desperately trying to grab it and get away, but they can't. So the mortar is lost. And I'm able to run away with this guy and get the Panzer IV out of there. And with this guy pinned, double capped, about to be triple capped, and at 26 VPs, he knows he's dead. And that is why I like maps that don't have many buildings. Because if there was like a building here, building here, a building here, building here, building here, building here, here, it would just be a nightmare to deal with these machine guns. And you could constantly keep pushing up and you know, be in safe cover. Yeah, I think the biggest issue he had this game was honestly not just not like capping with the machine guns, or he had a lot of issues this game, but I think the one thing that's like the most dumbfounded, that makes the least sense, was going for a T-70 super late when he knew I had a Panzer IV. Like, it just got obliterated. So that was it for this replay. I've got, I think, 2 more left. I had a USF game that I won, or facing a USF player, that I won last night, and it might have seemed kind of one-sided, but it was actually quite close. It was a really nice game, and I've got one other after this. I think it was on Mill Road. I can't quite remember. Actually, no, I think it was on. It was on Fayetteville Approach. Now I remember what it was. Yeah, it was a Fayetteville Approach game, and for once I faced someone who made 0 machine guns, 0 mortars, 0 defensive units, just all aggro. So that'll be it for this game. I've got a few more to upload. I'll see you guys in the next video.